Kendra, and this is Hooked by Happenstance Makes Monday, episode 19, Liminal. So what is liminal, you may ask? According to Merriam-Webster, and excuse me, my notes are on my computer today. According to Merriam-Webster, liminal is an adjective meaning of, relating to, or situated at a sensory threshold, barely perceptible or capable of eliciting a response, like liminal visual stimuli. And the second definition is of, relating to, or being an intermediate state, phase, or condition, in between, transitional. Also, other things about the word liminal. It began to be used in the 1880s and it had a rise in the 1910s, is kind of when it became like a bigger thing. But I found it incredibly interesting that there was a very steep rise, 7 times the usage of what it was at its height in 1910. Around 2005. So I don't really know what led to that change, but interesting, huh? 2005. And it's gone down a little, but it's still much higher. And yes, it's still a very little used word, but interesting. And I have a cat that wants to say hello. Okay, Jezebel, there you go. Say hello to your people. Okay. So liminal kind of has to do with the time of year we're in. We're at this weird transitional thing where we're standing on this threshold between summer, which just won't go away, and fall, which has just barreled into Kansas. It has rained a bunch this week. It has been hot and cold and windy and hot and cold and tornadic weather. And then, yeah, so today it is getting cold, as indicated by my fibery things, which are now starting to leap onto my body to keep me warm, and have been all week on the days when it's been cool-ish. So right now in my house, it's like 65 degrees. We have a fire all like built in the wood stove and ready to be lit, but I've been putting off lighting it. So we'll see. I think tomorrow though, it will probably be time to light the first fire of the year. Today we are in a slightly different setup. As you can see, I have not put everything back where it belongs for my usual filming location and just general office work in here, because I had a craft show on Saturday and I just haven't gotten around to it between exhaustion and laziness and weather. I've just not gotten back to putting everything in where it goes. So I will probably do that tomorrow, but I needed to film this now or it's not going to happen at all. And it is very late. It is currently very late at night, Monday night, early Tuesday morning, and I would like to get this set up so that it can go out to you overnight, because my internet is very slow and you will all see this Tuesday morning. Just so I'm gonna not do a bunch of the things I usually do when it comes to editing this. I'm gonna go real bare bones today, just do the intro and that's it. That way it can get done quicker and can go up overnight, because the last podcast took a very long time to upload because the internet's been wonky, because the weather's been wonky, and thus is living in the sticks, which I love, except my internet problems, so whatever. Because we're at this transitional period in time of year, I also feel that this transitional period in my crafting. I spent time canning again this week, and I spent a lot of time sewing for my Etsy shop, so that's a thing. I also vended at a craft show on Saturday, and I had my project bags as well as my crocheted toys and things. So that took up some of my time, and just general like lifing has been taking up a lot of my time. So there just hasn't been a lot of crocheting, which I don't necessarily think is bad. It's just weird for me, and I'm having an issue with it a bit. I see everybody else's like social media presence and they're all getting things done, and I'm just not even doing things. It's not that I'm not getting them done, I'm not even starting them. But I have a bunch of things that I want to start, and many of them are like kind of big garmenty types of projects for the winter. So we'll see. I also know that I need to transition into like Christmas crafting here pretty quick, or decide if I'm going to Christmas craft. I'm definitely Christmas crafting for my kids. So that is a thing that needs to happen. And we've kind of narrowed down what they want, so now I just need to start making it. But what is off my hook? So this week there is one thing off my hook. It is this owl hat here. It is for my 5-year-old's Halloween costume. It goes with the owl poncho I made a few weeks ago, and I just made up the pattern. It's a little hat. And it's in a similar stitch pattern to the poncho. He was not sure at first if he just wanted a hat that he could wear and like his face would be the owly face, or if he wanted an owl face on it. But once he got it on without a face on it, he decided he wanted a face added. So that's what I did. And I worked on that on Thursday. I actually went through to figure out, because I was so baffled by how little I felt like I crocheted this week. I went back and watched my daily vlogs, or like skimmed through them, to figure out what I had made this week and like when I had worked on what. And really, this is it. So I made the owl hat on Thursday. And then on to the things that are on my hook. On Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I worked on my mom's blue cardigan. And I was kind of amazed that for how many days I worked on it, where I'm at in it, because I feel like I should be further. Now, this is the Carberry cardigan pattern by the Velvet Acorn, and it's made out of some mystery mill end yarn from Joann's, and I'm using a size J 6.0 millimeter hook. So here is what it looks like right now. So, you know, we've split for sleeves, done the increase, and now I'm just working my way. I think I have 2 or 3 more inches, and then it will be at length to then add the bottom edging, and then there's obviously like a button band edging around the sides and sleeves. So I did do the body, and I did make a mistake while doing the body, which is part of what has made me have a little less progress. I realized when I was working on it on, was it on Wednesday? Must have been, that I had made a mistake and I didn't do the right increases, or I decreased when I shouldn't have. Anyways, I did not have the right number of stitches. So I had to pull out about 4 inches of work that I had put in to fix the mistake, because otherwise it was not going to fit an adult human. And my mother is not a big adult human, so this will be plenty big for her. I think. I hope. She measured things, so I'm hoping that it all actually works. But anyways, I pulled all that out, and so then I had to put it back in. So, you know, I have done more work on the sweater than their sweater to show for it, but that's kind of where I'm at. The other thing that got on my hook this week, I started on Friday. So I said that I had a craft show on Saturday. Well, I needed something to take with me, and I didn't want to take my mom's cardigan because obviously I needed to pay attention a little or I was going to make more mistakes. And I like to have something to work on at craft shows because I think that it adds interest to my booth, and the muggles are always very like, ooh, what's that? So I do like to have something to work on, but it also needs to be something that's easy for me to put down, pick up, put down, pick up. That way I can talk to customers and whatever as need be. So I decided that I should make another blanket. I really was enjoying that one that I made that was the reds and greens and kind of that beigey color, kind of Christmassy colors that I made last week. And I have a whole bunch of baby yarn that had been yarn fairied to me last year. So I decided to go through some of that and use some of it up because I don't find baby garments really worth making unless every year I make one batch so I can enter it in the fair. But I don't really have a good use for them. They don't sell because they're pretty much impractical. And locally to me, at craft shows, people that do want like crocheted baby clothes have family members that are going to make them because then they're like sentimental, you know? So there's really no point in crocheting baby clothes for like sale. And I don't need crochet baby clothes in my life. So what am I going to do with the crochet baby, or with the baby yarn? Not crochet baby yarn, but what am I going to do with baby yarn? I have so much of it. So basically, blankets is a good solution. And I had a number of skeins where I don't have enough to do a whole blanket, so I was going to put them together. And I decided to make another blanket in that same pattern that I had used, which basically just uses front post double crochet increases. So I started the blue section on Friday night, and I basically used, this is the whole ball of blue that I had, and then there's this cream, which is, I thought, much whiter when I first got it out, but it's definitely like a creamy, almost yellow, but not quite, and then has just a slightly shininess to it. So I'm fairly certain the blue is Bernat's Softy Baby, something like that, and I have zero clue. Oh, I know, I do know what I think the white is. I think the white is this, which I don't, let's see. Orlon Pompadour High Bulk Fingering Yarn. 84% DuPont Orlon, 16% rayon. It's a 3-ply yarn. I think that is what this is. And I have a number of these skeins, which came from that same yarn fairy, and then there were like 3 or 4 balls that were balled up. So even though it says it's a fingering weight, it is matching just fine with what is sport weight baby yarn. So I'm just going with it because I figure that is the best course of action. So I started the blue on Friday night after I got home from setting up my craft show booth, and I just started working through it, and then I stopped and I had put in about 10 rows. And so then when I got to the craft show, I finished off with another 4 rows of the blue, and then I did the white section. So I did this Friday and Saturday. I worked some more on the white section when I got home, and then it went into the bag, and I've spent the rest of my crafting time sewing. So that is kind of where that is at. As far as strung out, on Wednesday I did work on We Hook Wednesday pouches, and I did not pull them out to show you because they're all put away with everything else and I have stuff in front of where they are. So there are videos on the channel if you are curious what We Hook Wednesday pouches I made this week, and you will see the other 2 because I actually have made ahead a week. You'll see them on Wednesday when the We Hook Wednesday video comes out for this week. And that is everything I have been up to. As I said, I feel very liminal. Like I feel like I'm on this weird like cusp of like my mojo and the weather and just trying to balance between crafts, because there's a lot of crafts that I want to do, need to do, and just a lot of commitments that I have made that all kind of seem to be coming to a head all at once. So trying to balance things and get all the things that I've committed to done has been an interesting balancing act. So that is it for this week. I hope that you all have had a nice week. There is one more strung out project I did this week, and I forgot. I also added a section to my yarn tail shawl. I added a section for Love Stargirl. If you'd like to see that, there is a video on the channel, and I will link it on the end screen. So that is everything for this week. I will try to get a, I don't know, more put together video out next week, but I don't know. This is as put together as I feel like I can be today. So we're just going to roll with that. I hope that you all are having a very nice day and that your crafting endeavors have felt slightly more structured this week, maybe. Or at least that you have been enjoying yourself along the way. And I'll see you all next time.